Lovely big voices for me.
Bluegate Fields Infant School has a record of success in literacy. The school uses a range of strategies to teach reading, and it's committed to this approach.
Our vision for our children is that they will become readers, and what we don't want is our children just to learn how to decode and be able to get through tests, because that's the strategy they have.
Good boy.
We feel really quite passionate, I think, about this, that what we need for the children is to know that reading comes in lots of different formats. You won't always get it right, but what you are doing is trying, cross-checking and coming up with a whole load of different strategies to make sense of what you're reading.
The key features you need in a successful school is a head teacher who prioritises the teaching of reading, will back it up with resources and training, and it becomes a school expectation. Obviously, there will need to be good and rich resources, so there'll need to be budget provision for it. They need an understanding themselves and to feel confident about it, so that there's continuity and consistency across the school, because what doesn't work is if one teacher's doing one thing and another teacher's doing another.
Structured role play is a key strategy used to extend language.
Because they are second language children, they do start school sometimes with not much English at all, so we're trying to put in the language all the way through.
My pet has a temperature. Can you help? Yes, I can.
We do a lot of work on them acquiring language in meaningful context and doing things, you know, teachers feeding in language structures, which we very much encourage. It's not just individual words, it's language structures, but they've got to be meaningful language structures.
So what they're actually doing is they're actually, if they're retelling part of a story, pretending to be a character, they're actually using lots of language structures, lots of vocabulary that they don't usually use in their everyday lives.
Do you know that was good, but can you use a bigger voice, please? Can you say that again with a bigger voice? I think I need
a stethoscope to check his heart.
Well done.
Shared reading sessions from reception on focus on a range of strategies.
Big loud voice.
I love animals.
Just a minute, turn around and say it to everybody else in a big loud voice.
I love animals.
The whole point of reading is to understand what you're reading. If the words that you're learning to decode are placed within a meaningful, grammatically correct context, then the reading is going to flow better, and therefore you'll be able to read faster.
Okay, so here is the first page. Nabil, what's the name of the dog? Fantastic, nearly right, Jack. It does start with a J and the M sound is a K, but what is the name of the dog? Okay, I'm going to give you a clue. J, O, K. Sumaya.
Jock.
Fantastic, Jock the dog, okay.
Although we know that the children need to know about phonics, we're very aware that they need to have all those other strategies as well, and all those other experiences of reading in order to become real readers.
And we all know this word. This has been on our word ladder this week. What does this say?
I love
Okay.
If you don't know the word dog, yes, you can sound it out. But if you don't know the word because, you might know it from your high-frequency words. If you don't, you're going to have another strategy. There's no one strategy we can give our children which will guarantee they can read every word.
What is on this page, Ishak? Okay, I'm going to ask you in a minute what these animals are doing. Okay, I want you to think about the answer. What are they, Farhan?
Duck.
Fantastic, Farhan. Can you say that in a big, loud voice?
Duck.
Well done. Everybody show me, what are the ducks doing?
Waddle, waddle, waddle.
Waddle, waddle, waddle. Jabir, what are you doing there?
Waddle.
Can you put that into a sentence, please?
I am waddling.
Fantastic. Okay, let's read this. I love the ducks. To the... Well done, Navid. OK, how did we know that this word was waddling? Think about it. What can we see in that word to help us to read it? Samaya.
Because it's got a
Well done, because it has got a w. OK, what can you hear at the end of the word? Waddling. We can hear a w. Well done, Navid. What can you hear at the end of the word, Leia? Well done. Can we all say ing? Okay.
The way reading sounds is important. Phrasing and expression, putting those groups of words together, using punctuation, because that enables them to carry meaning. And a lot of our children, we encourage our children to be meaning-driven when they're reading.
I love the goat racing across the...
field.
Aslam, how did you know this word said field?
Because it got a foot.
Well done. And what can you see on the ground?
Grass.
Can you say that in a sentence, please?
I can see grass.
Well done. Fantastic. It's your turn to tell me what you can remember. Okay. Which animals did we see in the book and what did they do? I love the way that some of you have already thought and you've got your...
Book Corner gives the children the opportunity to explore the printed word on their own terms.
What does Mummy say?
Eating.
What's he eating?
Eating dinner.
Right, good boy. That was lovely reading. Go and put your book away.
Right from the start, children do need to be applying their knowledge to books and also having exposure to little books where they can achieve a degree of independent success. So reading words that they already know in stories and in contexts.
It's usually a book they know, so they would normally know the story, but they get that choice to practice what it is they actually know they need to practice. They might be fascinated by the pictures, and that might be something they really wanted to have a really good look at those pictures and talk about it. Or they might be thinking, I think I know how to read this book for myself, but I want the time to practice it on my own.
So it's frightened.
The adults are there, if you like, to push them in the right direction if they can see that that's a useful way for them to go, or to support them. But it's very much about seeing what it is the child wants to do and following them through.
I go to care. I don't care.
If we want them to enjoy books, we need them to have a chance to really get to know those books in lots of different situations. And what they're doing is practicing all the skills that we want to become a reader.
We want rich books. We want books that actually they couldn't read independently that are being read to them. We want book sharing. We want all kinds of ways to hook them in.
Box, bag,
Bash 'em. Good reading, Emma.
Guided reading sessions give teachers the opportunity to focus in detail on how the children are using their strategies.
However, one day a little bird flew down to the tree by the garden.
Good, Jessica. I love the way that you're putting your groups of words together. We're teaching our children, during a guided reading session, we want them to problem solve, to have the confidence to have a go, no matter what the outcome. Being exactly right isn't what we're asking them to do. It's the having a go. And we try and install that in them in everything they do. I like the way you went back to the beginning and ran and you tried that again. Well done. And I heard you sounding that out, didn't you? Can you go back again? Think about what's going to make sense. Yes. Are you right? Does it look right? It does, doesn't it? Now read with your eyes. Because they are second language children, we're very conscious when we're teaching reading of putting structure in there. We're saying to them all the time, OK, it looks right, because they're really good decoders, but does it sound right? Is it good English? Have you looked in the picture? Look at is there anything in the picture that tells you? What is it? Look at the cottage. Have you heard that word before, Imran? Does that word look right? All through the school we do running records. Now that's looking exactly at what the child's reading behaviour is. Mark down on the page what the text said, what their response was. Are they cross-checking? Are they looking at the word? Are they getting stuck on a word and then looking at the picture to see if they're right? It does, doesn't it? Can you go back and check it for me? Good boy.
I think one of the key features you need in a successful school is that they track their pupils' progress rigorously. They know who's making appropriate progress and they know who's not, and they do something about it early.
I like the way you said the first word. Let's look at parts. In a beautiful... Good boy. How do you know it says beautiful? Good boy. So you looked at parts of the... Well done, Imran. Lovely big voice. Good. And what did we say that was? That was the middle. Good boy. Lovely reading. If you're doing a running record on our children, a lot of them come up with predominantly using visual cues, and it's that balancing out of it again. It's that saying, oh, excellent, well done, I like the way you tried that word, I like the way you tried to sound it out, I like the way you looked at parts of it, but it's also about now go back again and try again and think about what's going to make sense. It's putting that structure in there, which is really important.
The deck worked in fright.
Good, what are you doing if you're in fright? What does that mean?
I'm scared.
Good boy, he's really scared, well done.
She jumped out of the pond and the wolf raced after her.
Good, you said raced. Raced or raced?
Raced.
Good, would you like to go back and read it again? From a running record we can tell whether they're self-correcting their reading, what strategies they're using. You said Peter remembered his father's words. Does that look right? So what are you going to do, Shamima? Good girl, go back and read it in a nice big voice. They actually have to listen to what they listen and understand what they're reading at the same time, and that's something we have to teach them because they are such good decoders. So it's that balancing out of the cue system again.
What we're always looking at is there another way in that would have made it easier for that child to learn to read and write?
Good, you're trying really hard, well done.
That's why we've looked so much at looking at different strategies, different ways into learning. Because what I'd really like is for all our children to not only be good readers, but have found the process a really easy one as well.
Well done. What are the ducks doing?
That, you know, for them, learning to read was easy because we found the right way in for them.
A successful school has a head teacher who knows what works, has a vision and has expectations.
Yeah. My pet has a temperature. Can you help? Yes, I can.
I know that at the moment what our school needs and we have the capacity to do is to teach reading in the way that we're doing it. But in a different situation with a different group of children, you might choose to do something different. And I think that's the skill of leading and managing a school, is to be able to look at where the school is at, what staff you have, what resources you have, and then do what's best for those children at that particular point in time.